Hi, Jan from Indigo Soul, and today I'm going to be going through grounding and protection. So I'm just going to swap over to my slides. Okay, right. Grounding and protection then. Now this is very, very important. I can't stress enough how important grounding and protection is. And it needs to be done ideally as soon as you get up in the morning. Energy work can be very draining for light workers, and that's why you need to make sure that you are properly grounded and protected, ideally at the start of each day, and also very important before you do any energy work of any description. And when you're a light worker, you can be affected by people's energy. So even if you're not doing any energy work, it is important to do this at the start of each day anyway, so that you're not affected and so that you don't absorb other people's energies. Now, to ground ourselves, we can use lots of different methods, and different people prefer different methods really. So whatever you feel most comfortable doing. We can walk outside, hug a tree, or even just sit outside with a cuppa. You can ground just by having something to eat and to also have a drink or drink a glass of water. In our busy lives, we don't always have time to do visualization or any other method that we prefer of grounding, maybe not even have a chance to go and have a proper walk outside. So there are a number of other ways to ground that are really easy to do when you haven't got time to do any of these. First of all, you can sit comfortably in a chair with your feet firmly on the floor and take 3 deep breaths, releasing any tension as you breathe out. Then you can put your favourite chosen grounding method in place. Now, some people prefer to visualise this. You can use visualisation, and one way that you can do it is by visualising a ball of golden energy entering your body through your crown chakra and then slowly passing through all of your chakras in turn, and then down both of your legs into the ground, and then by imagining the energy branching off like the roots of a tree, growing out of your feet and deep into the ground. So that's one way of doing it. Or you can imagine yourself walking outdoors, walking barefoot in the grass or something like that. Now, if you're not very good at visualisation, which I'm not, to be perfectly honest, you can use a Reiki symbol if you're a Reiki practitioner, or you can also do something called tapping in. And this is the easiest way to ground, and it is so effective. A lot of people, it's so easy, in fact, a lot of people think that it doesn't work, but it does. And I'm going to be showing you a demonstration at the end of how I do this. But it brings into balance all of the major energy centres and is one of the most simplest and effective techniques for ensuring that a stable centred energy is kept in place. To do it, you just have to lightly tap with your fingertips on the area of the upper chest where the collarbone meets the breastbone. It's found near the thymus gland, which maintains the energy of the subtle body. You need to place your other hand over the navel whilst you are tapping the thymus, and you need to tap about 20 times. Alternatively, you can tap in an anti-clockwise circle in the same area, again about 20 times. I find this really hard to do. It's a bit like tapping your head and doing a circle on your belly at the same time. I could never do that either, but you can just tap on it 20 times. You don't have to do a circle. As I said, you need to make sure that you centre and ground yourself before doing any energy work, or at the start, or really at the start of each day. So if you feel that you're feeling a little ungrounded, you need to ground yourself throughout the day. And I always do it before and or after any energy work throughout the day as well. And you need to make sure you take plenty of breaks if you're doing any energy work for a long period of time. Drinking plenty of water and eating, as I said before, is a good form of grounding, and you shouldn't skip meals or not have plenty to drink when you're doing any energy work. Another thing you can do as well, if you're actually doing energy work, particularly I've found with crystal healing for some reason, you can hold a smoky quartz in your receiving hand, which is your non-denominational hand. I don't know if that's the right word, but the opposite hand to the hand that you write with is your receiving hand. So if you hold a smoky quartz in that hand while you're doing any energy work, it can ground you straight away. Okay. Right, so moving on to protection then. Protection is also extremely important and needs to be done, again, before any energy work, alongside grounding. So I always ground and protect myself every morning, and then also throughout the day when I need to. And one thing I was going to say as well, if you feel ungrounded, if you are ungrounded, you can feel a bit dizzy or a bit disorientated or a bit spicy, and sometimes perhaps a bit shaky. So if ever you feel like that, it can mean that you are ungrounded. You can use your pendulum to check whether it is that you are ungrounded, if you're not sure. But that can be a really good sign that you're not grounded properly, or that you need to reground again. Now, to protect yourself then, you can call in Archangel Michael by calling his name 3 times. 3 times, the power of 3 is always very, very powerful. And that's why if you call in an Archangel's name 3 times, it's really powerful, and it calls that Archangel in. And you could say something like, please protect me from all energies that are not mine, and all energies that no longer serve my highest purpose at this time. Or you can visualise Archangel Michael putting his blue cloak of protection around you. Or you can visualise him or yourself putting a protection bubble around yourself at the start of the day, so that any other energies bounce off the bubble and do not affect you. What I always think about is, I don't know if you've ever seen those bubbles that you can have, that you can actually, it's sort of like an activity, a sporting type of activity that you can do. I don't know what they're called, but you can get inside this bubble and roll down a hill, or, you know, walk along. So if you just imagine something like that, a big bubble of protection around you to protect you throughout the day, and the other energies bouncing off it. And you can also say a protection prayer. I've found one from Carl Gray that's really good that you can use, and it's: thank you, Archangel Michael, for surrounding me in your gentle blue light of protection. I know I am safe when you are near, and so it is. I'll write these protection notes out for you and add them to the members area, so that you can use them. One other thing you can do, I have actually programmed energy for anyone that is in my Indigo Soul Tribe, or in any of the groups, does any of my courses. And what it does, this energy calls in 4 archangels actually, and other angels as well, to help you throughout the day. And that all you need to do is say this phrase, and it calls in those angels to protect you and also support you. throughout the day. So it sends in lots of calming energy, protection energy, and helps you to feel protected and supported throughout the day. And all you need to do is say the phrase, I am protected and supported, and it calls in that Reiki energy that I've programmed. Okay, so you can do that as well if ever you need any extra protection or support. Say it as many times as you like, and it calls in that lovely Reiki energy that I've programmed for you. Okay, and that's it. So very, very important. I'll just go back to my screen. Okay, so I'm going to give you a demonstration of how to ground by tapping in. I always use my Reiki symbol as well, but it doesn't matter. You can just use tapping in and that will work as well. Okay, so as I say, I do my Reiki symbol and I state, please cleanse me of any energies, cleanse and protect me of any energies that are not mine and any energies that no longer serve my highest purpose at this time. And then I say, no, please ground me, and I use the Reiki symbol for grounding as well. But you can just use the tapping in because it's very, very effective. So if you just say, please ground me, I would take 2-3 deep breaths first of all, just to center yourself a bit, and so that you're mindful while you're doing it. And then it's between, you feel your collarbone and the bone there, I forget what it's called, is it clavicle or something? And then there's like a little gap in between, so you want it to be just there. Don't worry if it's not exactly right, it won't matter. And then all you do is you just tap 20 times. Okay, and that will actually ground you, and it's a good thing to do as well. Say if you're at work and you think, oh, I'm a bit ungrounded and I don't want anyone to see me sitting there visualizing or whatever, you might feel a bit uncomfortable. You can just, you know, just sit there and tap and just say, oh, I've got a bit of indigestion or something. So it is something you can do, really, really easy, just tapping in, and it will ground you. Okay, so that's all for now. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.